always faithful. You can trust in Him. Let your hope arise this morning. And those are the sounds coming there from Tabs David featuring Myra Skosana and Miriam Litswalo. You are faithful. I'm now joined by Frik Pretorious, who is the acting senior manager legal services at the Tax Ombud office. Hi, Frik. Good morning.
Good morning and good morning to all the listeners.
Frik, we are back at it again. The tax season is just around the corner.
Yes, tax season is around the corner. Yeah, and we're going to give some tips to all the taxpayers out there on how to make this tax season easier for them.
So, Frik, can you briefly explain to us regarding the mandate of the Office of the Tax Ombud first, before we can proceed to talking about the documentation and all of that?
No problem. The Office of the Tax Ombud is an independent body set up to help taxpayers. That's our listeners with issues they might have with the South African Revenue Services.
Yeah.
Now, I always say to people, think of it as a neutral referee who steps in when they feel that they are not being treated fairly by SARS, and that will be in respect of service issues, procedural issues, or any administrative issues that they have against SARS. And we must also remember that the Tax Ombud is independent from SARS. So we look holistically and independently at each and every complaint that they have against SARS. Yeah.
Okay, Frik, I think I'm not happy with how the sound comes out. I'm not really happy about that. I would like for us to just fix it quickly just now and then get back to it because I really want our family members of Radio Pulpit not to miss a thing that you're saying to us. So let's do this and then reconnect to you just now.
But you will receive power when the Holy Spirit comes upon you, and you will be my witnesses in Jerusalem and in all of Judea and Samaria and to the ends of the earth. After he said this, he was taken up before their very eyes, and a cloud hid him from their sight.
Radio Pulpit will be honoring the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords during our Ascension Day service on the 29th of May with a message by Reverend Johan Els. Praise and worship will be led by the Radio Pulpit Band. Join us at 10 o'clock in the morning at the Radio Pulpit offices in Kilner Park, Pretoria, and remember to bring your chair with. Entry is free, love offerings are welcome. You can also tune into Radio Pulpit 657 AM, download our apps, or listen online at radiopulpit.co.za to the Ascension Day service. Contact Letzi for more information on 012 334 1284 or visit radiopulpit.co.za.
You are on Radio Pulpit, your daily companion, and I'm back with Frik Pretorious again. Do remember that I'm talking to Frik Pretorious, who is the acting senior manager, legal services from the Tax Ombud office. Frik, I think this one sounds good.
Thank you very much. Yeah, we need a clear line because we are going to give very important information to the taxpayers and the listeners.
Go back to explaining the mandate of the Office of the Tax Ombud again. Please.
Sure. The Office of the Tax Ombud, we are an independent body that was set up to help taxpayers with issues that they might have with the South African Revenue Services. I always say to people, think of it as a neutral referee who steps in when they are not being treated fairly by SARS, and that will be in respect of service issues, procedural issues, or administrative issues that they have with SARS. That's in a nutshell our mandate and what we do.
So the tax or the Office of the Tax Ombud has emphasized the importance of also getting our documents in order as the season approaches. Okay. Could you please elaborate on why this is important for taxpayers?
Very, very important question. Yeah, having all your documents ready before the tax season is super important, and I emphasize that. It makes filing your taxes so much easier and faster, and it helps you avoid mistakes. And furthermore, it ensures that you have everything you need if SARS asks for proof. And the most important thing, you know what, if you have all your stuff and there's no queries from SARS, it saves you a lot of stress at the end of the day.
Okay. And then why is it important to provide correct information, and what are the implications of inaccurate information?
Well, if you look at our compilation of taxpayers' rights and obligations, the right info on your tax return is absolutely crucial, because if you mess that up, you could face penalties, interest, or even an audit from SARS. Audit from SARS in serious cases, you can get into legal trouble. So always be honest. Make sure that everything that you put in your tax return is accurate, and that will avoid any headaches that you might have. And make sure that the documents are authentic and that you have all the original documentation with you. And that will save you a lot of trouble.
Yeah. Will the tax Ombud office have a problem if my information was inaccurate when I submitted to SARS?
Yeah. Well, keeping your documents organized will help you stay on top of your taxes always, and makes it easier to prove your claims. If you lose some documents, you might have trouble getting deductions, such as your medical credits,
Yeah.
or whatever the case may be. Or if you claim the medical credit, you don't have that documentation, you could face serious penalties. So, but our office can still help with your complaint, but having all your documents available makes it much easier, smoother and faster for yourself and for our office should there be a problem in respect of any complaint that you have, in respect of a service administrative issue, so and procedural issue from SARS. So make sure that you have all your documentation, but yeah, we can still assist you.
Okay, so now can you also share this one, Frik, with us, some of the documentations required if one would lodge a complaint with the tax Ombud?
Yeah, if you want to lodge a complaint with the tax Ombud, you'll need a filled out complaint form, and that's readily available from our website. We also need copies of any letters or emails with SARS, every bit of correspondence that you have. You need your tax reference number. That must be emphasized on the documents. Otherwise, we don't know who we're dealing with. Any other documents relating to your complaint, like notices from SARS, proof of submissions, etc., etc. We need all that information, yeah. Lastly, sorry, I just need to emphasize this, very important. If you are represented by a tax practitioner, so you need special power of attorney, which must also accompany the documents, yeah.
Say now some of the documents are missing. Will the tax Ombud take my complaint if I did not have all the documents? And so my docs are not in a row because there are documents missing. Will you guys help me?
Yeah, we can still take your complaint. Remember that each and every complaint is handled by its own merits, on its own merits and so on. So we will never show you away, but it's important that you must always go to SARS first, to the SARS CMO process before you approach us.
Yeah.
So if SARS does not assist in terms of CMO queries, then you can come to us unless it's compelling issues. There's few compelling issues, then you can come straight to us. So the listeners can just go to our website and look at that compelling issues as well. But yeah, we will never show somebody away for no reason.
So let's say somebody has submitted to SARS and SARS demanded some documents, and they to support what they have submitted to SARS. They have supporting documents and everything looks fine, and then SARS comes back to say, we're not accepting this, and we are also going to fine you this much for this. Can I still come to the tax Ombud because I feel this is unfair? I've submitted and everything proves that my documentation is accurate.
Very good question. Yeah, how it works in practice when SARS disallows some of your documentation, what they normally will do is they will raise an assessment with penalties or whatever they will do. In that case, you must follow the objection route. It's your right to object against any assessment from SARS or any action from SARS. So in a case like that, if you come to us, we will not accept your complaint.
Okay.
because we are limited in terms of the Act to deal with cases where the matter is subject to objection and appeal. But if you object against an assessment and SARS takes longer than the agreed turnaround time on the client charter, then you can come to us because that's a systemic issue to say that, listen, yeah, I've objected, SARS is not coming back to me, they're not finalizing my objection. In a case like that, you are more than welcome to come to our office to assist, and we can assist you.
How long does the objection period take? How long should you give SARS when you have objected to come back to you as a taxpayer?
60 days.
Oh, 2 months.
Yeah, basically 60 days. And in the case where there's no objection and there's only a verification, and the verification is found to be clear, SARS must also pay out your refunds. And also when they do not pay out the refund, it's also a systemic issue under the compelling issues by the tax ombud, and they can also come to the tax ombud without approaching the SARS CMO.
But Frik, how long does it lodge, or how long does it take for one to lodge a complaint with the tax ombud?
When you lodge a complaint with our office, it normally takes it's a turnaround time of 15 days when we send the recommendations to SARS.
Okay.
So once we send the recommendations to SARS, there is a turnaround time of 30 days from SARS to give recommendations that they either accept the recommendations from the tax ombud or not. So you look at around 30 days.
Oh, okay. And then how do I lodge a complaint with you guys at the tax ombud office?
Okay, it's very easy to lodge a complaint. You know what? You can just go to our website or you can contact us. So you fill out the form, you attach the supporting documents.
Okay.
You can send it via email, fax, post, or drop it off in person, and the tax ombud will confirm that they got your complaint and start looking into it. So what we normally do is within 2 days, we send out a letter of acceptance of your complaint that we actually received your complaint, and that we are going to look at it.
In your experience, Frik, do we always know what the documentation is? Do we always know what's required from us during this tax season?
You know what, the safest is keep all the documents that's in relation to your tax affairs. You know, if you're not sure what documents to submit, well, SARS will let you know at the end of the day. But if you don't have the documents ready available, it's going to take longer for them to assess you at the end of the day.
Okay.
So the listeners, when they put in their tax returns, when they submit it, each and every piece of document that you're relying on, make sure that you submit it with your tax return.
And I've heard of people taking pictures or making photocopies of slips and all that, because I remember one who had to submit all the slips from the doctors and from the from the pharmacist and all that. And I remember her saying, "No, I make copies because they get the slips kind of disappears. There's nothing when the tax season starts. There's nothing on your slip." So would that also be acceptable?
Yeah, this is another tip. If you've got a lot of things that you want to claim, let's take medical aid as you've said now. You want to claim medical contributions, then give SARS a schedule of all the monies that you've spent. You know, don't just give them a bunch of documents or slippies or whatever they make it for them.
Yeah.
And then out of that schedule, they will probably do a spot check on certain of the expenses that you incurred. In the case of that, what you are referring to now, I know that some slippies, you know, when you put it in your pocket, it disappears from the paper. You can't see it anymore. So it is, well, first prize at the end of the day to have the original slippies available, but you can probably take a photo of it, because SARS will in any event, if they do not want to accept that, they can cross-reference it with the supplier, you know, like the pharmacy or whatever the case may be. But it's always better to keep the original slips. In some cases, probably they will accept pictures and all of that. But you need to give very good reasons why you do not have the original slips.
Alrighty then. But also know that you have a big brother on the tax Ombud. If you make your submissions and things are not going right, but you can call the tax Ombud office for clarity and help in that regard. You said you're a referee. So for those seeking information, how can the taxpayer get in touch with the office of the tax Ombud? Please share the contact details and everything that we need to know.
I will do so. Firstly, our email is complaints@taxombud.gov.za, or you can visit our website at www.taxombud.gov.za. Always remember it's not co.za, it's gov.za because we are a government organization. Or you can phone our toll-free line by 0800 662-837. And if you want to come to our address physically, we are in Pretoria, Menlyn, on Menlyn Corner, 2nd floor, 87 Frik de Beer Street. We are also on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Instagram, and our accounts there at Twitter or X or whatever they call it nowadays is at Tax Ombud.
Mm-hmm.
Facebook is Tax Ombud SA, 3 words. Instagram at Tax Ombud SA, 1 word. On LinkedIn, Office of the Tax Ombud.
Alrighty then.
And that's the ways that you can get in contact with us, yeah.
So as soon as you type the tax Ombud, it will bring out your Facebook and all that. If one does it on Google, I believe, all the handles. Yeah, all the handles.
If you type in Tax Ombud, you will get all our details. You will get our website.
Alrighty then. So, Frik, what is your closing What are your closing statements? What advice do you have for the taxpayers as the tax season is coming closer? What words would you like to share with us before we say goodbye to you?
Yeah, my word of encouragement for this tax season is in relation to what we've said now. Keep all your documents. Be very honest in your dealings with SARS. If you are not sure how to deal with a matter, ask SARS to assist you. If SARS doesn't want to assist you, our office is there to assist you. And then very important, what you can do, go to our website. There's a document there, compilation of taxpayers' rights and obligations. Now, it gives you 10 rights and obligations. So that rights will tell you exactly what you can do, what you can ask for in respect of each and every action that SARS is doing. So please familiarize yourself with that document. It's very important. But as I said, you know what? Just be an honest citizen, pay your dues, and be honest. And that's when you do that, there can't be a problem. It will be a stress-free exercise at the end of the day.
Thank you so much, Frik, for waking us up, because some of us were not even aware that the season is just around the corner. So thank you so much for this information. And have yourself a beautiful one further.
Yes, always a pleasure dealing with the listeners and giving them advice.
Awesome. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
And yes, keep well, sir. Bye. And yes, my family, that is Frik Pretorious, who is the acting senior manager legal services at the Tax Ombud office, talking to us this morning about getting our documentation ready, knowing exactly what the documentation is all about, but getting our ducks in a row as the tax season is just around the corner, and also sharing a little bit of some of the common pitfalls and mistakes that we make as taxpayers with our tax documentation. And if you need to know more about the Tax Ombud, or you want to know more about what is expected of you from SARS, you can just visit their site there. Just type in Tax Ombud and you will go to Google, type Tax Ombud, and you will see their Facebook page, their Instagram, and everything else, their address, wherever they're at. And so make sure that you are ready for the tax season, which is almost just about to begin to commence.
There's